Big E, you got till Monday. You got until Monday Night Raw to get your ass off the couch, go talk to Xavier Woods, go talk to Kofi Kingston, and squash this. Because there's no way on God's green earth for the last 2-3 months you've had no clue what's going on. I refuse to believe you don't watch the show. Even if you don't watch the show, there's no way you don't know what your own tag team partners are doing or aren't doing. And I don't want to hear but he's injured. He don't got broken legs. Get your ass up and go talk to them boys. The black community's...
Why don't you get the hell out of this ring and get back to your desk where you belong?
Okay, so I have a cold right now. If you cannot tell by the boogies on my nose or by my appearance, I'm kind of sick. And I can't help the fact that I get sick all the time. It's this time of the year. But I wanted to come on here and talk about this segment that happened on Monday Night Raw. First of all, I thought Monday Night Raw was fantastic. That was the single best Monday Night Raw I have seen all year. I would even put it over top of the Monday Night Raw from May 6th with the Ilya Dragunov Ricochet match and the Gunther Sheamus match. Because I'm all about stories. I love wrestling. But if you want to give me more segments, I'm not going to complain about it. Funny, I see a lot of people online talking about how, oh, there's less wrestling these days. There's not enough in-ring stuff happening on Raw. Yeah, this is like one of the highest rated Raws of the year. And everyone's praising and talking about it. And it didn't have a lot of wrestling on the show. I want to hear from the people who always talk about how there's not enough wrestling. I want to hear from y'all. Because if y'all didn't think this Raw was the shit, you are the shit. Let me talk about this segment, okay? Because y'all got it all messed up. Y'all got it all twisted. When I made this video on Instagram, basically calling Big E out, saying that he has to show up on Monday and address the New Day situation. Go talk to Xavier Woods. Go talk to Kofi Kingston. I was being 100% sincere and honest when I said that because I thought it was kind of ridiculous that throughout this whole turmoil that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods have been having, Big E has been nowhere to be seen this entire time. And yes, I'm aware he's been on the pre-shows, the pay-per-views, but he's been nowhere present on Monday Night Raw or with any of the New Day segments this whole time. Like I said in the video, it's impossible to conceive that he has no clue what's going on, especially because he's on the pre-show. So he has to know that his own brothers are having issues and he's choosing not to show up. I had an issue with that. That's why I made this video saying Big E needs to show up on Monday when they do the reunion. And what do you know? Big E showed up. I think Cole said it's like the first time they said Big E on Raw in almost 4 years, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, it really has been that long, hasn't it? Let's just say Big E did not get the warm welcome he thought he was going to get. Let me take my jacket off because I'm about to get hot about this. And I've been seeing people say all day online about, oh, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they turned heel, they kicked Big E out. What the fuck are y'all talking about? No, they didn't turn heel. Let's not go there. I'm going to be the one to say it. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, they did nothing wrong. Let me not say they did nothing wrong, but they're justified in every single thing that they said. Because I think that y'all were listening, but y'all weren't really hearing what they had to say. Because if you heard what they had to say and you understood why they were so angry, you will understand why they told Big E's ass to get lost. It's the exact reason why I told Big E he has to show his ass up on Monday. That's why, because I understand where they're coming from. And I don't want to make this a race thing, but I understand where they're coming from on a deeper level. And I feel like my fellow brothers and sisters will understand where they're coming from on a deeper level too. But let me break it down for you so that way you, who maybe don't understand it a little bit more. So the New Day has been a faction for 10 years. It was the 10-year anniversary of the New Day on Monday Night Raw. That is a huge landmark for WWE tag teams or factions to go this stretch of time with no breakups, no separation, no turns, nothing. They started off as heels, but within about a year's time, they turned into baby faces, and they have been a babyface tag team / faction ever since. I mean, the amount of titles, the amount of tag team titles, singles titles, WWE championships they have won collectively as a unit is Hall of Fame worthy for both individually and as a faction. As a faction, they are first ballot Hall of Famers, and as single stars, you can make the argument that some are, some aren't. But as a faction, they will go down as one of the greatest factions, and you can even argue the greatest faction in WWE history. And there's always the discussion of who's the Marty Jannetty, who's the Shawn Michaels, who's the Hogan, who's the Scott Hall. But like, I always saw the New Day on like the same level. For instance, when it comes to wrestling factions, it's always apparent who the leader is. Yeah, everyone's important to the group. Everyone serves their role. Some people are better wrestlers than others. Some people are better promo cutters than others. But it's always very apparent who is the top dog and where everybody falls in the hierarchy. Even in factions where they're all portrayed to be equally as important, there's always someone in the hierarchy who's at the top. There's always someone who's the most important. That's the case of 99% of factions. It's just the pack mentality. That's just how we are as humans. There's always got to be a hierarchy. But again, that's 99% of factions. The New Day was the 1%. There was never a key leader in the New Day. They were all on the same level. Like, yeah, Xavier Woods may have formed the New Day, but he was never the leader of the New Day. It's especially apparent because out of all three of those members, he was never the WWE champion. He actually never won a singles title the entire run of the New Day. Even when Kofi and Big E were WWE champions, you couldn't even say they were the leaders of the New Day. They were a unit. They built this faction brick by brick together as brothers. When Big E got injured in 2021, it hurt them. I mean, we could be honest with each other here. The New Day really got derailed when Big E got hurt and he wasn't there. For the past 2 years, they've kind of just existed in the tag division, not really having a core storyline, just winning championships here and there, doing this and that, but that was it. They didn't even truly feel like the New Day because there was that one key man that's missing. It would have been the same way if Kofi got hurt or Xavier got hurt. It would have been the same thing. It's not that Big E was needed to complete the New Day. All three of them are needed to complete the New Day. Kofi and Xavier realized this, but they had to make peace with what they had, which was each other. They said as much in the promo. When Big E was hurt, they were there for him. They were in the hospital the night that he got hurt. They were visiting him every single time he needed a checkup. They made sure their boy was straight when he was down and out because they knew together they are stronger than they are apart. And I understand this deeply because I'm the youngest of 3 brothers. Me and my brothers didn't talk every single day, and to this day we don't talk every single day. But there is a mutual understanding that if we need each other, we will be there for each other. You don't even gotta yell or scream. We will be there no matter what. We're gonna check up on each other just to make sure everyone is straight. Because if no one else got us, we know that we got each other. Black community, that's brotherhood for you. That's what that is. When Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods finally started having the outs with each other, you start to ask yourself, where's Big E in this whole situation? Because they're brothers, and the expectation is if a group of brothers are fighting, one of them has to be the voice of reason. And it can't be any of the two fighting with each other. It has to be a third party. If my 2 brothers were fighting with each other, I would jump in and I'd be like, yo, what's going on here? Did they listen to me all the time? No. Did I resolve all the issues? No. But I was present. And my presence being there was noticed by them. That strengthened our bond together. For weeks and weeks and weeks and months at a time, these two are going at it. And Big E knows about this. And he doesn't step in. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't call nobody. He doesn't show up to stop it. He just lets it happen. Guess what? They didn't say anything, but they noticed. When we finally get to the boiling point and we're on the brink of breaking up, now you show up? Now you show up. And this is where I'm mad at some of y'all. Because they didn't say, oh, Big E held his back. Big E's this, Big E's that. It was timing. Because it's too late. We already made up our mind. Because when you were struggling and you were in the hospital, we were there for you. But when we struggling, oh, that's not your problem anymore. You've been here when we were succeeding. But when we were struggling, you were nowhere to be seen. That's the problem. He wasn't there when they were struggling. Matter of fact, you waited till the day that everyone expects you to be there to show up. Even one thing if Big E showed up unexpectedly, but it's the New Day reunion. Of course we expected you to be there. When Big E shows up like, oh man, guys, I've been missed y'all so much, now I want to manage both of you. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. If we ain't need you for the last 2 years, why the fuck do we need you now? Listen, I'll give Big E this. At least he showed up because he could have still no-showed this whole thing and showed his true colors. He did show up, but it was too late once again because you knew what was going on. And you were able to show up this whole time. I said it in the video, and Xavier Woods said it himself. Your neck was broken, not your legs. At any point in time, Big E could have showed up and talked to them, but he didn't. Matter of fact, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods brought up a good point. They said he had a desk job. I didn't know that. If you were working this whole time, that damn sure means you could have been there earlier. And you weren't. So I don't want to hear anybody talk about some, oh, heel turn. They didn't turn heel. They were justified. And also, why do y'all keep saying the New Day broke up? No, they didn't break up. No point in this segment did they attack Big E, did they kick him out of the group, did they even told him you're done with the New Day. They never said that. They said we will call you when we need you. Get lost. And they rekindled their bond. The New Day never broke up. Stop saying that. Big E is still part of the New Day until further notice. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are not the bad guys. And if you think they are, make like Big E and get to stepping.